Okay, GCSE Intermediate Homework 6, Maths, non-calculator side. If we express 240 as a product of prime factors in index form, we need to break down the number. I find it always easier to maybe half it. So as I'm divided by 2, I circle that number as 2 is a prime number. So it says prime there, and that's 120. And then I can half it again. Circle 2 as it's a prime number, and then that's 60 goes there. Half it again, 30, and half it again until I can't half it anymore. So now I've got to 15, which is an odd number. 15 is not prime though, as 3 times 5 makes 15. Both of these numbers are prime because only one and itself goes into it. So as I've got 2 prime numbers on the end, I know I finished. So the answer is 2 to the power 4 times 3 times 5. Okay, that's how it is written in index form. Part B, use your answer to write down 240 squared as a product of prime numbers in index form. Well, we know what 240 is. It's 2 to the power 4 times 3 times 5. And if you square something, you times it by itself. So that's the number we want, but we're going to simplify it. 2 to the power 4 times 2 to the power 4 is 2 to the power 8. 3 times 3 is 3 squared. 5 times 5 is 5 squared. And that's our final answer. For the maths calculator side, we're going to need our scientific calculator. Would make things a lot easier. So we've got this number here. As it's a fraction, I'm going to press the fraction button. If it comes up like this, you can just reset your calculator by pressing Shift and Clear, and then when you press that button again, the fraction button comes up. So I'm just going to type in 300.27 divided by 24.36 times 6.74, and out comes the answer. The question says correct to 4 significant figures. So if I write down a few figures to start with, I can then count in 4 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to cut it off by there. I need to look at the number after. As it's more than 5, I round this one up. So my final answer is 1.829. You need to make sure you round it correctly, or you could risk losing a mark. The second question, so I just type this straight into the calculator. 5.8 squared minus 4.79 plus the square root 34.5 divided by 9.64, and just press the equals button, and we've got this number again. If I just write it all down, 30.74178, that'll do, and then I can count in 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to cut off by there. So it's 30.74. Okay, and that's the final answer for that one. Now we go on to the numeracy side, the numeracy non-calculator. So Kareem painted a fence. On Monday he painted 7/10 of the fence. On Tuesday he painted another 1/5 of the fence. On Wednesday he finished painting the fence. What fraction did he paint on Wednesday? Well, we can see, because of what we've got here, this is a fractions question. If I add together my fractions, so 7/10 plus 1/5, that's the sum I'm going to have to do to know how much he painted altogether on Monday and Tuesday. Now this is non-calculator, so now I need to add my fractions, and to do that my bottom number needs to be the same, my denominator needs to be the same. So I'm going to change these both to tenths. This one stays as 7/10. As I want to change the second one to a tenth, I need to double all of that fraction. So I've doubled the bottom number, I'm now going to double the top. Okay, so 1/5 is the exact same as saying 2/10, but it does make this easier to do because I can just add the top numbers and keep the bottom number the same. So on Monday and Tuesday, that was the total he painted. On Wednesday, he finished painting the fence. So it all needs to add up to 1. So on Wednesday, he would have painted 1/10 of the fence. Okay, and that's the final answer there. For the last question, it's a calculated question. We've got the sentence up here. You're going to be assessed on the quality of your written communication in this question. So it's really important that I label every part of my workings. Super soil fertilizer is sold in 3 different size containers as shown below. A rectangular lawn measuring 9 by 3 meters is to be treated with this type of fertilizer. Enough fertilizer has to be bought for the area of the lawn. There must be enough fertilizer left over to treat an area of at least 1 meter squared and no more than 2 meters squared. Show clearly how this can be done in 2 different ways. So I need to know how much needs to be treated to start with. And the way I work that out, it's told me it's a rectangular lawn measuring 9 meters by 3 meters. So I could always sketch that out just so that I'm aware what it looks like. And the way we would work out the area of the rectangular lawn is by multiplying them together. So 9 times 3, and that's 27 meters squared. So that's how much needs to be treated. So let's read the next sentence again. Enough fertilizer has to be bought for the area of this lawn. There must be enough fertilizer left over to treat an area of at least 1 meter squared and no more than 2 meters squared. So that means I must have at least 28, but no more than 29. So at least 28 meters squared, no more than 29 meters squared. So show clearly how this can be done. So now I need to start pricing it up. So there's a couple of different ways I can do it. I can't buy just 3 large ones because that would give me 30, which would be over the amount that I'd want. So let's start off with just having 2 large ones. I need to make sure I write this down. So I've got 2 large. If I have 1 medium, that would give me 25, and if I have 1 small, in total that would be 20, 25, 28, which in total would be 28 meters squared, which is fine. So let's price that up now. 2 large is 2 times 8, plus 1 medium is 5, plus 1 small is 4. So I could just work that one out. That's 16, 21, 25. Okay, so that's my one way worked out. I need to work out a different way of getting to this amount. So instead of having 2 large, I could have started off and had quite a lot of medium ones then. So I could have had, say 4 mediums. So I've got 4 medium. And then I could have 3 small, and that would give me 4 times 5 meters, which is 20, plus 3 times, so that would give me 29 meters squared, which again is fine. So I could just price that up then. 4 times 5, because each one's £5, plus 3 times 4, because each one's £4. And if I price that up, I've got 20 plus 12, so I've got £32. Okay, and that's it. That's the full 8 marks there. If you notice, there's lots of different ways this could happen. You might have a different way of working those out and a different way of getting to either 28 or 29, and it'd be completely right, but the question's only asked for 2. Out of my cases, this way is cheapest, but it doesn't ask for that. It just asks to calculate 2 different costs, which isn't there. Everything's clear. I've labelled each part of my workings, and I've labelled my units in my answers to make sure that I get the extra 2 marks that's on offer here for the quality of written communication.